What's up, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Wizards Latest. I'm your host and DC sports fan, Ben Robertson, and on this page, we break down all the biggest headlines surrounding the Washington Wizards. So, we finally have some Summer League action to chat about. Of course, previewed it all of last week. Finally, have some games to dive into. Want to talk about Trey Johnson and what he did. Want to talk a little bit about Alex Sarr, how the team bounced back in game two after a tough game one loss against Phoenix. And lastly, what's next on the Summer League schedule. So, as always, drop your comments down below with any thoughts on the video. You can also send me them over on Twitter at Ben Robertson32. Would love to interact with some of you guys over there. Like and subscribe as well. And let's jump right in to Wizards' latest. So, of course, two Summer League games over the weekend, Friday night and then Sunday night. Of course, this video dropping Monday morning. Wizards fell to Phoenix 103-84 in the Summer League opener. Obvious disappointment there. And then bounced back with a 102-96 win against Brooklyn last night, Sunday night, game two of the Summer League this year. And first off, we got to talk about Trey Johnson, number 6 overall pick in this year's class, and he was just cooking in both games. Finished the Phoenix matchup with 18 points, 7 of 13 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-point land. And then in game two, he just picked up right where he left off, scored the first 7 points of the game against Brooklyn. I believe he had 10 of the first 12 of points Washington scored, finished that game with 21. And the big takeaway for me with Trey is, man, that jumper is just so clean. It's so, he just gets it off whenever he wants, kind of, and it looks the same every time it goes up. Just so confident, it felt like right away as soon as he stepped on the court in this summer league. And despite the score of the first game, I think you guys would probably agree what he did was really fun to watch, and it was cool to see, okay, your first round pick show up and look not only like he belongs, but like he can dominate at least at the summer league level right from the get-go. Can't wait, honestly, for the season to roll around. I know we have a ton of time here in the offseason, but I just want to see more of what Trey Johnson can do. I want to see him play even more. I want to see him take the next steps in his rookie year. So the other big storyline, at least in terms of individual players for me in this summer league weekend, was Alex Sarr. And for me, it was a lackluster game one against Phoenix, excuse me. Much better performance against Brooklyn. Finished the game one with the stat line of 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And really, the stats from both games probably don't tell the whole story with Sarr. I just loved how he was kind of undeterred by some early struggles and really never seemed phased and just kept grinding. And even in that Phoenix matchup, I know it wasn't, some of the buckets ended up coming just in garbage time to get him to those 15 points, but he came out right in that second half and just attacked Kaman Maluach right away and tried to get his back a little bit and kept grinding until the end of that Phoenix game, and he carried some of the momentum over into game two. And I've seen a lot of, man, like, it didn't seem like he was trying. I didn't think he was working really hard. A little bit questioning the effort of Sarr coming out of game one. And honestly, I disagree with that. I don't have any questions actually coming out of this weekend about Sarr's desire. I have some questions and maybe some things I think he needs to work on in terms of his game. I think two of his first 3 shot attempts from a game can't be from 3-point land, and that's what I actually think he improved upon in the Brooklyn matchup. In that Brooklyn game, he missed some shots early, just right at the rim, but he was trying to get downhill and attack from really the start, and not just settling for outside jumpers. And while it wasn't perfect, he got better as the first half of that Brooklyn game kind of wore on. He really continued to improve. And, another thing, talking about the desire a little bit, when you watch that Brooklyn matchup, he was, of course, matched up with Drew Timme for a bunch of that game. And Timme is, I mean, honestly, just kind of comically good at the Summer League level. But Timmy, every time he got a bucket on Sarr, Alex came right back down at the other end and was trying to answer. There was one time, I think it was in the second quarter, where Timmy dunked right on the head of Alex Sarr. Sarr took the inbounds pass, went right back down the other way. He missed a bunny right at the rim, but he chased down the rebound, threw it back over his head. It was kind of a wild play over his shoulder to save it on the baseline, and then got the ball right back and threw down a big slam. And it was just one of those moments where don't tell me this guy doesn't care. Don't tell me his motor isn't there and he doesn't, want to get his, and at least, kind of have that passion and pride you need to be an NBA star. I just think some of the things, whether it's just his finishing right now at the rim, or again, sometimes I think just settling early in games too much for outside shots. I mean, call me old school, but I think him and Kaman Mayok both attempted like 2 3-pointers within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And I mean, again, call me old school. I mean, whatever you want. But for 2 7-footers to do that, I get it, summer league, but that's where basketball is right now. But I think he stayed out of that and continuing to improve in the Brooklyn matchup and ended up by the end of that game, honestly dominating at both ends. He had a huge block on Drew Timme late in that game. He was just swatting everything, honestly, to close out the Brooklyn matchup. And of course, Washington pulled out the win. And I don't know about you guys, we don't get to say that all that often in the last couple of years. I'll take it. That was pretty fun. And overall, sort of on the response in game 2 and how much I just loved it. Really, in the game 1 against Phoenix, Keyshawn George was, I mean, maybe the brightest spot. He finished with 24 points. Probably was the best player on the court for us. Him and Trey Johnson really kind of, again, the lone bright spots coming out of that matchup. The entire team, I felt like in the second game against Brooklyn, like Sarr, seemed to just improve as things wore on. Bub started to make some shots. Will Riley started to get going a little bit in the second half as well. And again, by the end of that game, Sarr was just swatting everything and dominating things in the paint. It was actually a really impressive performance. And again, last kind of point on this weekend, what a win. I mean, really, what a win. How often do we get to say that? Even if it is in Summer League, I will take it. And a really exciting matchup, exciting to watch, these young players grow right in front of us in real time, and hoping we can carry a little bit, just a little bit of that momentum maybe into the regular season, regardless of what your hopes are, regardless if you're hoping it's, another year sort of at the bottom of the league so we retain that top 8 pick, or whether you're saying, hey, let's go all in and, let's see what we can do. Whatever your definition of all in is, let's see if we can maybe win some games. Regardless, I think this was an exciting outcome, at least in game 2 of the Summer League. So lastly, today, I want to chat just quickly about what's next on the schedule. Washington off here Monday of the Summer League, but have back-to-back action Tuesday, July 15th and Wednesday, July 16th against Philly and Utah. Now, wouldn't maybe expect the big names, VJ Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, to play in those matchups. They've both dealt with injuries already here in this Summer League, so not sure that maybe at this stage we're going to see them back on the court. Not really sure what we'll see from the Wizards. I mean, you have to imagine some of those year 2 guys, Sarr, Bub, may now get rested. Even Trey Johnson, after what he's done, I mean, he's certainly proved he can dominate at the Summer League level. Maybe wraps for him in terms of this year's Summer League, but that means some of the lesser known names on the roster we'll see maybe get a chance to prove themselves. I'll continue to chat about it here this week on Wizards Latest. Make sure you like and subscribe. Drop your comments down below. Hit me over on Twitter at Ben Robertson32 with thoughts or future video ideas. I appreciate all of the support, you guys. Let's keep it rolling. And thanks for watching another episode of Wizards Latest.